Good afternoon, children. Hope you all are fine. Welcome to my class. Our today's class is our today's class contain three segments. In first segment, we will discuss the chapter. In next session, we will you will pause the video and you go through the study material which will be provided along with this, and then we will discuss the worksheet of this chapter. So in our previous class we have started chapter 2 and today we are going to continue with this chapter. So our today's point to be discussed are chemical change, its definition we will discuss, then characteristics of chemical change. Next we will discuss some examples of chemical change and then differences between physical and chemical changes. So what is the definition of chemical change? In a chemical change, the original substance gives rise to one or more new substances with entirely different compositions and properties compared to those of the original substances. That means in a chemical change we are going to get a whole new substance whose composition will be totally different from that of its reactant. The composition of the reactant and the product will be totally different. So what are the characteristics of chemical change? This can be given as follows. New substances are formed. In a chemical change we will get whole new substances. One or more new substances will be formed. The composition of the original substance changes completely. The change is permanent and irreversible. There is usually a change in the mass of the original substance, and there is an exchange of energy during a chemical change, which means that heat and light will be released or absorbed. So for a chemical change of energy is must. Now let us discuss some example of chemical changes. Cooking of rice. This is a very usual example of chemical change. So when we cook rice, before cooking we have to work with the raw rice. So once we get the cooked rice, the composition of the raw rice and the cooked rice is totally different. Once we get the cooked rice from the raw rice, we cannot convert it to its original form. That means we cannot get back to the raw rice again. So this change is permanent and irreversible. Here new substances are formed. That means cooked rice is a new substance than the raw rice. So here composition is changing and this is a chemical change. Next, formation of curd from milk. When we get curd from milk, the composition of curd and milk is totally different. So in this change, in this process, we cannot get back the milk again from the curd. Once we get the curd from milk, we cannot convert the curd to milk again. So this change is permanent and irreversible. So this is another example of chemical change. Curdling of milk. This is again a chemical change because once the milk gets curdled, we cannot get back to its original form. Here composition is totally different. We cannot get back the milk again, and so after curdling of milk we are going to get a whole new substance whose composition is totally different from that of the milk. So this change is irreversible and permanent. So this is a chemical change. Rotting of egg. If a egg gets rotten, we cannot convert it back to its original form, or we cannot get back the egg to its original form. So here the rotten egg and the egg before rotten, uh, it's totally different. We cannot get back to its original form, and the composition of the rotten egg and the proper egg is totally different. So this is again a chemical change. Burning of fuel. This is a very common example of chemical change. If we burn any fuel, any piece of paper or a piece of wood or whatever, any fuel, we are going to get some ash, and along with carbon dioxide and water vapor as side product, along with some heat and light. So in this change we are going to get a new substance, ash, which will be produced after the burning of fuel. The composition of ash and fuel is totally different. We cannot convert the ash to fuel again. And here, as we are getting carbon dioxide and water vapor as side products, so these are the new substance which we are going to get in this burning of fuel or in this process. Here this change is permanent and irreversible. Here we can see the change of energy. Here energy, heat and light, both these energies are released in this process. So this is a very good example of chemical change. Next, rusting of iron. When a piece of iron gets rust, this iron will combine with atmospheric oxygen to form hydrated iron oxide. This is the chemical form or chemical name of rust, that is hydrated iron oxide. So this is a totally different substance. Hydrated iron oxide is a totally new substance from that of the iron. So this change is a chemical change, and we cannot get back the iron in its original form again from the rusted iron. So this is a permanent or irreversible change, and as we are getting whole new substance, so this is fulfilling all the characteristics of chemical change. So rusting of iron can be considered as chemical change. Now see this reaction, formation of iron sulfide from iron and sulfur. So in the first test tube we have taken some sulfur. See this yellow substance, this is sulfur, and in the next test tube we have taken some iron dust. So in this test tube we have taken some sulfur dust, which is yellow in color, and here we have taken some iron dust. Now we all know iron gets attracted by magnet, and pure iron gets attracted by magnet, and this sulfur, this substance can be dissolved in carbon disulfide. This is a solution or solvent, we can say. Carbon disulfide is a solvent which can dissolve sulfur. Now this is the property of sulfur, that means sulfur, pure sulfur gets dissolved in carbon disulfide and iron gets attracted by magnet. Now after adding this two in this next test tube, in this third test tube, we will add this two and we will heat this mixture. See this iron and sulfur mixture, here you can see both the particles of sulfur and iron separately. Now after heating we are going to get this blackish substance, which is totally different from that of the original substance, that means the mixture of sulfur and iron. So here after heating we are getting a whole new substance, that is iron sulfide or ferrous sulfide. Now this iron sulfide will not get attracted by magnet, that means here iron is losing its own property. Again this cannot get dissolved in carbon disulfide, that means here sulfur is also losing its original property. So this ferrous sulfide is having a totally different chemical properties than that of both of its reactant or both of its constituent elements, sulfur and iron. So this is a chemical change. This reaction of sulfur and iron and getting sulfur ferrous sulfide, this reaction is a chemical change, because this ferrous sulfide cannot converted back to iron and sulfur again. This change is permanent and its composition is totally different from that of its original substances or constituent substances. Burning of magnesium ribbon, this is another example of chemical change. Here you can see this is a magnesium ribbon, and we are holding this with a pair of tongs, and in a burner we will burn this magnesium ribbon in this burner, and it will burn with a dazzling light. Now during this burning of magnesium ribbon, we will get some light, and along with this we are going to get a white mass, that is white powder, which can be collected in this china dish. You can see this in the picture. So during this reaction, when magnesium ribbon will burn in presence of air, that means it will get combined with atmospheric oxygen, and it will form magnesium oxide. So the reaction is Mg plus O2 MgO. So magnesium oxide is the product in this reaction, and this magnesium oxide is having totally different chemical composition than that of the magnesium and oxygen. In this reaction we are getting heat and light, that means energy is released, and this change is totally irreversible change. We cannot convert the magnesium or magnesium oxide, that means this white powder, to magnesium ribbon again. So this reaction is fulfilling all the characteristic of chemical change. Now see, there is a reaction where we can see both physical and chemical change simultaneously, that is burning of candle. So when we burn any candle, a candle, first the candle melts, the wax of the candle melts, and again it will solidify, and it will convert to the solid form again. That means this process is called melting of candle or melting of wax. So this change is a physical change, because here only the physical state of the candle is changing. That means from solid it's converting to liquid wax because of this heat, and again it will get solidify. When it will cool down, it will get solidify, and again it's forming the solid wax. That means in this reaction, or in this change, we can say this change is reversible change, and here no change of composition will occur. So this change is, it's not permanent, it is a reversible change. So this is a physical change. Now when during this burning of candle, see, come to this next figure. See here, the fuel is wax. So when we are burning the fuel, or when we are burning the candle, the atmospheric oxygen is combining with wax, and it's forming carbon dioxide and along with steam or water vapor. So here we are getting a new product, that is carbon dioxide and water vapor from wax. So this we cannot again convert it back to the wax again. That means this change is irreversible change and permanent change. Here we are getting whole new substances from wax. We are getting carbon dioxide and steam or water vapor. That means these are the whole new substances whose composition is totally different from that of wax. So this change in this process, or burning of candle, here we can see both physical and chemical change. Now come to the differences between physical and chemical change. So in a physical change, there will be no new substances is formed and the chemical composition of the substance remains same. Whereas in chemical change, new substances with entirely different chemical composition and properties are formed. Physical change is temporary, whereas chemical change is permanent. Physical change can be reversed by simple physical methods. That means we can get back the original reactant back by simple physical methods, whereas in chemical change the change cannot be reversed by simple chemical methods. In physical change, heat or light energy may or may not be released or absorbed. It may be released or may not be released, that means it's not mandatory. Whereas in chemical change, heat or light energy or both are released or absorbed. That means change of energy is mandatory in a chemical change. Now children, just say this question, think and answer. What will happen if an inflated balloon is brought near a lighted bulb? Why this will happen, and is it a physical change or chemical change? Just think and answer. We will come right after. Just pause the video, go through the study material, and then we will come back and we will discuss the worksheet. First of all, get back to the question which was given. If we bring a inflated balloon near a lighted bulb, what will happen? Is it a physical change or a chemical change? So children, if we bring that inflated balloon near a lighted bulb, uh, as we are providing energy, that means from the lighted bulb, the air inside the balloon, it will absorb the energy from the lighted bulb, and the molecule or the particle of the air which is there in the inflated balloon, it will absorb the energy, and they will their energy will increase. The molecules, motion of the molecules will increase, the energy will increase, and they will just expand. That means the intermolecular space of the molecules of air, that will increase, and they will just spread here and there. So their volume will increase and the balloon will burst. That means after that, if we bring that inflated balloon near a lighted bulb, the balloon will burst. But this change is a this change is a physical change. We cannot call it a chemical change, because here we are not going to get any new substance. The air will remain same, only its energy will increase, and the molecules will just absorb energy, and its energy is increasing, and its volume is increasing. But here we are not going to get any new substance. The composition is remaining same, though from after the balloon will burst, we cannot get back to its original form again. But here we are not getting any new substance, so this change we cannot call as chemical change. This will be a physical change. Okay, now come back to the exercise or the worksheet. See the first question. Hope you have gone through the study material which is provided, and you can answer your own, I hope. So first question is, define a physical change and a chemical change. Both the answers you are going to get in this study material, so you can write from there. Acha, if you are not having pen and paper with you, so just pause the video and go and bring those, because we need those. Okay, next, see question number 2. Classify the following as a physical or a chemical change. This question you can write in your copy. Okay, so first just make 2 column, one for physical change, another for chemical change, and we will be writing the process. In physical change we will be writing which in physical change column we will be writing the examples which will be of physical change, and in chemical change column we will be writing those examples which will be of chemical change. So drying of wet clothes, this is a physical change because here we are not getting any new substance, and the wet clothes again we can after drying of wet clothes again we can get back to its original form, that means we can wet it again. So this is a reversible change, it's not permanent, so this is a physical change. Manufacture of salt from seawater, this process is called evaporation. So this is again a physical change because we are just discarding the water, this water after evaporation process. After evaporating the water from seawater we are getting the salt. So here we are not getting any new substance, we are just removing the water vapor, removing the water from seawater to get the salt. So manufacture of salt is an example of physical change. Next, butter getting rancid. So this will be a chemical change because once the butter get rancid we cannot get back the butter again in its original form. So here we are getting new substance, so this will be a chemical change, and this change is a permanent change. Next, boiling of water, this is again a physical change because here just the state of the water is changing from water to water vapor. After boiling we are going to get water vapor, and again if we condense the water vapor we can get back the water again. So this is a physical change. Burning of paper, just like fuel, burning of paper is an example of chemical change because here we are getting new substances as ash along with carbon dioxide and water vapor. So this is a chemical change, and this change is permanent and irreversible, so this is a chemical change. Next, melting of wax, this is a physical change because here we are not burning it, we are not burning the candle or we are not burning the wax, so just we are melting the wax, that means its physical state is changing, that means from solid state we are melting it and we are going to get the liquid wax, which again can be converted back to the solid wax after cooling it down. So here we are not getting any new substance, it's this process is reversible process, it's not permanent, so this is a physical change. Next, burning of coal, just like burning of paper or burning of fuel, burning of coal is an example of chemical change, as here we are getting new substances. Next, formation of clouds, this is again a physical change because here just seawater or water from the river and any water body, it will evaporate and it will get condensed with the particles which is there in the atmosphere, and it will form the cloud. So again the cloud forms rain, and this will converted back, this converts back to the water again. That means this is a, here we are not getting any new substance, just the physical appearance of water is changing from water to water vapor and cloud, and from there after condensation it will convert back to water again. So this is a physical change. Making of sugar solution, again this is an example of physical change. This we have discussed in our previous class. Glowing of an electric bulb, this is again another example of physical change, because when we will switch on the light, current passes through this electric bulb, it will get heated and we are getting the light. But once we switch off the light, again the electric bulb will come to its original form. Here we are not going to get any new substance, only the it will get heated and it will give light. So this is again a physical change. Curdling of milk, this is a chemical change, because here after curdling of milk we are getting a new substance, a whole new substance with a whole new composition, and this change is permanent change, this is irreversible change. So this changes are, this is a chemical change. Next, fill in the blanks. See, the process of a liquid changing into a solid is called, it will be freezing. A liquid changing into a solid is called freezing. A change which alters the composition of a substance is known as a chemical change, because in a chemical change only it alters the composition of a substance. Next, there is no change in the dash of the substance during a physical change. So there is no change in the composition of the substance or mass of the substance during a physical change. Next, the reaction in which energy is evolved is called a exothermic reaction, where the energy is evolved. Next, question number 4, see, give reason. Freezing of water to ice and evaporation of water are physical changes. So what will be this? I hope you can give the answer your own. Freezing of water to ice, this is a change of state of water, and evaporation of water, both are the change of water, change of state of water. As here no new substances are forming, here we are not getting any new substance, and this change is reversible change, this is not permanent change. So both the process are physical changes. Burning of a candle is both a physical and chemical change. You know the answer, you can write your own, I hope. Burning of paper is a chemical change. This again we have discussed. As here we are getting a whole new substance, that means ash we are getting, whose composition is totally different from that of the paper. Along with ash we are getting carbon dioxide and water vapor, which is again having different composition than that of the paper. That means these are new substances which are formed during this process. So this will be a chemical change. This is permanent change, irreversible change, new substances we are getting, so this is a chemical change. Cutting of a cloth piece is a physical change, though it cannot be reversed. Yes, if we cut a cloth piece, a piece of cloth, we cannot convert it back to its original form, but here we are not getting any new substance. For a chemical change, the main thing is, in a chemical change we have to get a new substance whose composition will be totally different than that of the original form or the reactant. So if we are not getting any new substance, then the maybe the process is irreversible, but it will be a physical change if we are not getting any new substance. So as cutting off a piece of cloth, here we are not getting any new substance, so this will be a physical change, though it cannot be reversed. Next, give 4 differences between physical and chemical changes. So this difference you can write of your own, though in the study material the differences are given. So we just go through this. So student, just go through the study material and go through the worksheet, do your study properly. I hope if you go through the study material properly, line by line, you can answer all the questions of your own. So do study properly. Take care. Thank you.